Welcome back to Reddit Story Time. Today we have 4 incredible stories. Let's dive right in.
Story number 1. Would I be the asshole for refusing to give my bedroom to my mother-in-law? Would I be the asshole for not wanting to give my room to my mother-in-law if she moves in with us? A 37-year-old woman and her husband bought their first home last year after years of helping raise his nieces and nephews through hard situations. They have 2 special needs children and both work full-time. They are spread incredibly thin. Here is the critical detail. The couple sleeps in separate rooms, not because of marital problems, but so they can take turns being on duty for their special needs children who wake up frequently throughout the night. The wife's room is also her home office, where she works a demanding full-time remote job. Now, the mother-in-law has fallen on hard times and wants to move in. The couple agreed and offered her the 3rd biggest room in the house. But that was not good enough. The mother-in-law's face dropped when she saw the room. Her excuse was that her queen-size bed would not fit, even though the previous resident had a full-size bed with plenty of room to spare. What she really wanted was the wife's room, the one that serves as both a sanctuary and a workspace. The wife has spent years being the helper for everyone else. She barely has time for self-care. And now she is being asked to give up the one space that is truly hers, a space that is not just a bedroom but also her office, so that her mother-in-law can have a bigger room. The mother-in-law has brought this up multiple times before, always asking about that specific room. This is not about the bed fitting. This is about entitlement. Let us be clear. The couple is already doing the mother-in-law a massive favor by taking her in. Offering her a room for free when they have special needs children and demanding jobs is already above and beyond. But demanding the best room, the one that doubles as a workspace, is crossing a major line. The verdict here is overwhelmingly not the asshole. When someone opens their home to you, you do not get to renegotiate the terms and demand their personal sanctuary.
And the verdict, not the asshole.
Story number 2. Would I be the asshole for not returning a free to good home kitten? Would I be the asshole if I do not return a free to good home kitten? This story starts with loss. The narrator previously had a beautiful Bombay cat who passed away. It was their sole cat and they deeply missed having a black cat around. A few days before this story, they found out about kittens being given away free to a good home. They went to meet a little black kitten, about 12 weeks old, and ended up bringing her home. The person rehomming the kitten even supplied food in a carrier, which was kind. The new owner set everything up properly. A quarantine crate until the kitten gets her shots, a vet visit scheduled, and the kitten was already bonding with their other cat and small dog through the crate. Everything was going perfectly. Then the previous owner called and demanded the kitten back. Her reasoning was that the mama cat, who is feral by the way, was sad without the kitten. Remember, these kittens are fully weaned. The mama cat is feral and does not even like people. The previous owner wanted the carrier back, the food back, and the kitten back. She apparently could keep the litter box, but here's where it gets wild. When the new owner was at work and could not answer the phone, the previous owner looked up the new owner's mother in the phone book and called her at home multiple times. She wanted the kitten driven back to her. A 30 to 40-minute drive one way before dark on a weekend, despite the new owner working full-time. The kitten was not alone. She was safe in her quarantine crate with food and water. The new owner had done everything right. Proper introduction, vet visit plan, safe quarantine. The previous owner gave the kitten away with supplies and then changed her mind and started harassing the new owner's family. The verdict is not the asshole. Once you give an animal away to a good home, you do not get to demand it back because you changed your mind, and you certainly do not get to call the adopter's mother to pressure them.
And the verdict, not the asshole. Story number 3. Am I the asshole for refusing to move out of my coworker's seat? Am I the asshole for not moving out of my coworker's quote-unquote seat? Our narrator has been working with a coworker named Jasmine for about 7 months. They became friends initially. The narrator gives Jasmine rides to work, and Jasmine's mom has given the narrator rides home. A nice dynamic. But lately, Jasmine has been getting increasingly demanding. She tells the narrator to do things and expects compliance, but does not treat anyone else that way. She even openly admits she only listens to the general manager and ignores the night shift manager entirely. She talks trash about other coworkers but gets extremely defensive if anyone says anything about her. She has been in several confrontations, and then came the chair incident. There are 5 chairs in the break room. There are no assigned seats. Jasmine usually sits in the same 1 or 2 chairs. The first time our narrator sat in one of Jasmine's usual chairs, Jasmine immediately said, "Girl, get out my seat." The narrator pointed out that no name was written on it, but eventually moved to avoid an argument. But the second time was different. Our narrator was sitting in another chair Jasmine usually uses, closer to the door. Jasmine walked in, stood in front of her, and said, "Bruh, get out my chair." Our narrator stayed put. There were enough chairs for everyone. There were no assigned seats. Jasmine was not entitled to a specific chair just because she usually sat there. And here's the thing about Jasmine's behavior. She only pulls this with people she thinks she can push around. She targets the narrator because the narrator has historically just complied to keep the peace. But peace at the cost of your own dignity is not peace. It is submission. The verdict is not the asshole. Nobody owns a break room chair. And a coworker who demands you move from an unassigned seat is not asserting a right. They are testing how much control they have over you. And the verdict, not the asshole.
Story number 4. Am I the asshole for refusing to let someone save a parking spot by standing in it? Am I the asshole for refusing to let someone save a parking spot by physically standing in it? Our narrator went to a social gathering at a park with a group of people they see regularly. Parking was limited and spaces were hard to find. They eventually found an empty parking space and started pulling up to park. But someone was physically standing in the space, trying to save it for a friend. Now our narrator did the right thing. They stopped. They never touched the person with their vehicle. They never tried to drive into the space while someone was standing there. They simply put their car in park, turned off the engine and waited. Their attitude was, I am not going to force you out of the space, but I am also not going to drive away just because you are standing there saving it. After about 30 seconds, the person gave up and walked away. Our narrator parked. Afterward, the spot saver came over to explain. She had invited a friend who was coming for the first time, and she wanted to make sure that person had an easy place to park. She was worried it would not look good to promise a spot and then not have one. Our narrator understood the reasoning and even acknowledged that wanting to help a first-time visitor is a nice gesture. But here is the key point. Being nice to your friend does not make a public parking spot yours to give away. Parking at a public park is first come, first served. If the other parking options she pointed out were good enough for our narrator, they were also options for her friend. You do not get to claim public infrastructure by standing in it. If you arrive somewhere late and all the good spots are taken, you park farther away. You do not send a human body to hold a space. The verdict is not the asshole. Saving parking spots by physically occupying them is entitled behavior dressed up as thoughtfulness, and waiting patiently until the saver gives up is a perfectly reasonable response.
And the verdict, not the asshole.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed these stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more. See you next time.